Take a look and see if there's any left of it. I can't look at any extras.
He's a controlling person.
You actually
I think it would be.
We're going to.
But there we go. It's not a chance.
yeah.
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 So,
But I never
it'll push me to get that much better, but yeah.
Which is good. We want some.
Are you talking about the midterms? That I wouldn't wear it.
I think I'm
So livid. I didn't sleep that night. I was so
Yeah, I got like
Why?
a wig and you know.
How'd you do?
Yeah, B+, I said.
Oh,
Sorry.
why were you upset at me?
On the critical paper, I got 14.25 out of the 15 points.
I got
And I worked just as hard, if not harder, on this midterm, getting down, like, stating my case. And I'm just steaming. So livid.
I found I used a lot of sources.
Yeah, so did I.
Because like everything you read, like you could pull things from. So it was almost hard to like condense all of the information into.
I just kept citing. I was like, citation, 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 like into creating it into an actual sentence.
I have trouble relating the sources that we used in class and that stuff to my argument. Like I was able to fit it in, but not as solidly as I would normally like. It made sense. At least I think it made sense.
I probably did that on the second one.
I'm really.
But I kind of like stated my opinion and then just said, because I said the answer was no, because president shouldn't have this.
Yeah.
I'm really waiting to see us come back because I dropped it. So I called my dad at 11:30 last night. I got home late from being with him, but I knew he was late. I called him and I'm like, really? So instead I took a 500 test that I just got an A on. So that's why I'm kind of just so the opposite. I took another test.
Yeah.
I'm allowed.
But you got
No.
what you
I got a B.
I tried.
I think you got an A. Just do it.
So healthier.
I'm thinking the deep guts and he's the participation thing. He said he's going to do that. So I got such a strong first paper on the third page. And then I got B plus the participation.
It's okay, you can.
You should be able to actually. So poorly on the midterm. I'm like all panicking about the final.
Why don't we like?
Because I don't want to get in research or be in class. I was like,
But it's not working now. That was the one left over. I can be right now, so maybe it's not. Maybe
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
So, turns out that about a third of you think that I should be held into the DMV for testing before I prom.
that's really great.
And on a regular basis for the next several years. And up to half of you think I should either be brought in now or for the next couple of years. Give you a lot to think about, but maybe you're right. Actually, I do think about probably about half a dozen times a year I come close enough to an accident somewhere on the freeway that I think, another half a second reaction time can really make a difference. I actually came across another cartoon first. I'll show you in a minute. It's related to today's class, but crankshaft this morning I just thought was an interesting potential example of cohort differences in technology catching up with me. This one I thought was a good introduction to delirium. So, The other thing I wanted to let you know before, just about class views and stuff, is I'm away next week in D.C. pretty much all week, working on the Commission on Accreditation for the Psych Association. I'll probably be online some, but probably past history is anything to go by, something like half as much as I am when I'm in town. So if you email me and don't get a response as quick as you're used to, that's what's going on. They work us pretty hard. This is a group that accredits all the programs in professional psychology in the United States at this point. So we do doctoral programs and internships and postdocs. This is the DSM-4. Already mentioned it before. This is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for the American Psychiatric Associations. In order to all psychiatric diagnoses that have any chance of legitimacy in terms of third-party payment and so forth have to be in here. It doesn't work the other way. Not everything in here gets paid for by third-party payers. Or whole categories that often don't. And then we're going to show you both the topics for today. Not at the same time. So delirium state is a disturbance of consciousness, reduced clarity of awareness in the environment, reduced ability to focus, sustain, or shift attention. Psychiatrists often talk about this quality as being clear in the present moment, so that you're, regardless of whether you have any memory of where you were before you came to class today. If you're aware that you're in class and you can look around you and describe things and maintain a coherent conversation while you're here, you don't have delirium. The change in cognition includes memory deficits, disorientation, language disturbance, are the development of perceptual disturbance. It's not better accounted for by an existing or evolving dementia. My own experience, people have different takes on whether you see hallucinations in dementia. I think that there's a useful distinction to be made between people reporting things that you know didn't happen that's due to memory failures and people actually reporting seeing things now that aren't there or clearly having visual hallucination. Most, in my experience, working with older adults, most true visual hallucinations tend to be linked to delirium states rather than to dementia or to schizophrenia. Schizophrenia and auditory hallucinations are very common, but unless there's also drug involvement, which would be the delirium state, you don't see very many true visual hallucinations. What I mean by visual hallucinations is some of the nicer ones have been post-surgery. You get a fair amount of delirium post-surgery, actually in anybody, but more so in older adults because older adults are more sensitive to all kinds of medication effects. I've had clients talk about having leprechauns come and sit on the edge of the bed and chat with them about the surgery and what's happening next. They really enjoy it. It's kind of fun. I've had people living in single-room occupancy hotels describe jet airplanes flying in through the window and landing on the floor of their room.
I have a question. My grandfather, he did not have dementia. He did not have AD, but on his last day, he was lying in bed and he was speaking out loud. He wasn't present though. Mm-hmm. He wasn't talking to us in the room, mm-hmm. but he was speaking out loud, and he was